Okay, let's be real. Have you ever poured your heart and soul into crafting the perfect email? You hit send, and then nothing. It just vanishes into thin air. Poof, gone. It feels like the super frustrating, totally random mystery, right? Well, it's not random at all. Today, we are going to pull back the curtain on the hidden world of email deliverability, and we're going to figure out exactly why this happens and how to make sure your messages actually land right where they belong, the inbox.
So here's how we're going to break it all down today. First, we'll look beyond the send button to see what's really going on. Then we'll talk about your email's passport. This is the secret to getting past the digital gatekeepers. After that, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of earning inbox placement with some real actionable tips. And finally, we'll check the final score to see how you measure up. Sound good? Let's dive in. You click that send button. And for most of us, that feels like job done. But honestly, that's just the very beginning of a pretty wild journey. And it's a journey where way too many emails go missing in action. Now, check out this number because it's kind of mind-blowing. The data shows that 1 out of every 6 totally legitimate emails never, ever reaches the inbox. Just think about that for a second. All that effort, all that great content, and a huge slice of your audience never even gets a chance to see it. So that's the big question, isn't it? If they're not hitting the inbox, where on earth are your emails really going? Well, some just get blocked at the door, flat out rejected. Others get quietly shuffled off to the spam folder. Figuring out what decides their fate is really the first step to fixing the entire problem. To solve this, we've got to get one thing crystal clear. You probably hear the words delivery and deliverability thrown around like they're the same thing. They are absolutely not. Delivery is just, well, it's the bare minimum. It just means the receiving server said, yep, I got something. That's it. For all you know, that email's sitting in the spam folder. But deliverability, that's the prize. That means your email made it past the guards, past the spam filters, and right into the inbox where a real person can see it. That is the only metric that truly matters. So how do you make sure your email is one of the lucky ones that gets waved through? The best way to think about it is this. An inbox provider like Gmail or Outlook is like a strict digital border guard. And to get your email into their country, which is the inbox, it needs an official, verified passport. Simple as that. No passport, no entry. And what is this digital passport? Well, it's something called email authentication. These are basically the technical rules and protocols that prove you are who you say you are. It's the very first thing those border guards look at to make sure your email is legit and not some kind of scam or phishing attack in disguise. Getting this passport stamped correctly is absolutely non-negotiable, and there are 3 main stamps you need. First up is SPF. Think of this as the stamp that says your IP address is allowed to send mail for your domain. Then you've got DKIM, which adds a secure digital signature, kind of like a tamper-proof seal. And finally, there's DMARC. This is the big one that gives the border guards clear instructions on what to do if an email fails the first 2 checks. Okay, so your passport checks out. What's next? Well, now the guards are going to look at your travel history. This is your sender reputation. It's basically a score based on everything you've ever sent. Have you been a good sender or have you caused trouble in the past? This score is everything. It can be the difference between getting a friendly wave through or getting sent straight to email jail. So how do they calculate this score? It all comes down to how your subscribers interact with your emails. On the good side, you have positive signals that build up your reputation. Things like opens, clicks, replies, you get the idea. On the bad side, you've got things that drag it down, like high bounce rates or people deleting your emails without even opening them. But look at the top of that Hertz column. The absolute #1 killer, getting marked as spam. That is the single biggest factor that will completely destroy your sender reputation. All right, so we get the why now. Let's get into the how. This part is all about the practical, hands-on stuff you can do right now to build a fantastic reputation and earn that prime real estate in the inbox. It all starts with your email list. Seriously, everything. You have to treat it like a garden. You want to grow it organically with people who actually want to hear from you. Using a double opt-in is a great way to confirm they're really interested. And just like a garden, you have to weed it. Regularly clean out all the inactive or dead email addresses. This is so important for avoiding things like spam traps, which are basically hidden email addresses designed to catch spammers. And this brings me to what is, without a doubt, the single most important rule in this entire explainer. Are you ready? Never, ever buy an email list. I know it seems like a tempting shortcut, but it is a guaranteed one-way ticket to the spam folder. Those lists are just full of duds, spam traps, and people who will immediately mark you as spam. It's the fastest way to ruin your reputation. Just don't do it.
Okay, beyond the list itself, your sending habits are always being watched. If you have a brand new IP address, you can't just start blasting emails. You have to warm it up by starting small and slowly increasing your volume over time. This builds trust. And please, don't just send the same generic message to everyone. Segment your audience, personalize the content, and try to keep a consistent schedule. It all signals that you're a predictable, legitimate sender. And finally, the content of your email plays a huge part. You know it's a terrible idea? Hiding the unsubscribe link. If people can't easily find it, you know what they'll do instead? They'll hit the spam button. So make it big, make it obvious. Also, keep your from name consistent so people recognize you. And for goodness sake, stay away from spammy subject lines. You know the ones. All caps, a million exclamation points. The filters see that stuff a mile away.
So, you've done all the hard work. Your domain is authenticated, your list is sparkling clean, you're sending awesome, relevant content. How do you actually know if it's all paying off? Well, it's time to check the scoreboard. So what's a good score in this game? Well, here are the benchmarks for your deliverability rate. Again, that's the percentage of emails that actually get into the inbox. If you're hitting over 98%, that's fantastic. You're in the excellent range. 95 to 97% is okay, it's acceptable, but you've got some room for improvement. But if you're dipping below 95%, that's a big red flag that something in your process is broken. Let's wrap this all up and lock in the 4 most important things to remember. Number 1, authentication is your email's passport. It is not optional. Number 2, your sender reputation is everything. Protect it at all costs. 3, a clean permission-based list isn't just a nice-to-have, it's your single greatest asset. And 4, at the end of the day, every single thing you do should be about driving real, positive engagement from your subscribers. That's the whole game. So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. Is your email strategy actually building trust with your audience, or is it just adding to all the noise in their inbox? Because focusing on deliverability isn't just about tech stuff. It's about respecting the people on the other end. And in today's crazy, crowded digital world, that is a strategy that will always, always win.